All right, hello and welcome to part 2 of this informational series that I am going to do about the beast, the false prophet, and Satan. If you guys have not already watched part 1, please do so because we're going to build off of previous information already shared in other videos as we move through these short part series. Or this series composed of short videos. I realize that there are a ton of different viewpoints regarding how to interpret the information given in Revelation regarding the beast, the false prophet, and Satan. And there are a myriad of different ideas or opinions about who they might be. The fact of the matter is, the Bible is really clear about who all three of these are. We don't need to guess. And I am of the opinion that the reason that people believe they need to guess is because they don't understand that the rider on the white horse in Revelation 6 and Revelation 13's beast are different people / entities. They're not the same. And they can't be the same because of what we're going to go through in this video. At least in part of what we're going to go through in this video. There is a much broader conversation that I have discussed in videos on this channel. All you really have to do is search for anything that talks about Prince Lawful versus King Lawless. They are different, very, very different. And so for the purpose of this video, I'm talking about what is knowable, which regards the beast, the false prophet, and Satan. In part 1, we talked about how they are individuals. They are not the same, and how there is no such thing as a fallen angel indwelling or possessing another person. And I think this comes from people believing that the rider on the white horse in Revelation 6 and the beast in Revelation 13 are the same, and that there has to be some kind of transition point to move him from one state to another state, and so maybe Satan indwells him and makes him the beast. And that is not the case. They are separate. They have their own identities, their own purposes, and they do work together, but they're not the same. So that was what we went through in part 1. Now, when we differentiate between the rider on the white horse in Revelation 6 and the beast in Revelation 13, know that this video has absolutely nothing to do, this series has nothing to do, Satan, the beast, and the false prophet have nothing to do with the rider on the white horse in Revelation 6. That is completely separate. So we need to have that understanding in mind before we proceed. But what I want to talk about right now is the references to the bottomless pit. Part 1 was really clarifying misconceptions about people thinking that Satan and the beast have something to do with being the same person or the same entity. Because when I mentioned in messages on my Facebook page that talking about the beast and his ascension from the bottomless pit, people are like, oh no, Satan's not in the bottomless pit. He won't be thrown into the bottomless pit until Revelation 20. So, okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with what I was talking about the beast being in the bottomless pit. So I think we really need to make sure that we separate these people into their own buckets with their own timing, their own issues, their own agendas, and make sure that we aren't jumping all over people for saying one thing when we have it in our head a different way. I never said anything about Satan and the bottomless pit in my conversations. I was talking about the beast and the bottomless pit. Okay? So let's start this conversation with identifying what people are kind of jumping down my throat about and saying, oh no, Satan doesn't get bound in the bottomless pit until after the conclusion of the 70th week, and he will be there for 1,000 years, and then he will be released. Yes, I know, because Revelation 20 very clearly tells us. Right now, Satan has free reign. Free reign. It's called the prince of this world, the prince of the power of the air. What he does not have access to is the third heaven, and I am not going to discuss that in this specific video. I discussed it in a post, and I will discuss it when I get closer to writing about Revelation 12. But Satan has not had access to the third heaven for a very long time. He has access to what we call the second heaven or the celestial heaven. They're called the angels, the sons of God, the direct creations of God, that were the morning stars that jumped for joy as they watched the foundations of the earth being laid. They're called heavenly hosts. Heavenly, not referring to God's third heaven, but referring to the celestial heavens, which were created on day 2. The firmament, the air. The prince of the power of the air is a reference to him being of the heavenly host, the firmament being the air. And there were 2 specific firmaments, one underneath the water that encircle the earth, which is the air that we breathe, and one above it, which is where the stars, the sun, moon, and the stars are. So it's talking about the prince of the power of the air means that he has free reign to move between firmaments, the air that we breathe in this circle of the earth, or this earth, the atmosphere of the earth, and the celestial heavens, which we refer to as the second heavens, also called the prince of this world. So he's got free reign in the areas that he was given to have free reign in. That will come to an end in part midpoint through the 70th week in Revelation 12, when there is a sign representation of the celestial heavens, and he's cast out of the celestial heavens and confined to earth, because it is the earth that will be experiencing judgment, and the angels are going to be judged as well. This is written about in the Psalms. So it's not talking about him being cast out of the third heaven. He lost access to that a long time ago. It's talking about him being cast out of the second and or celestial heaven, and he's mad because he's losing part of his free reign. Part of his authority is being stripped at that point, and he's mad and he's wroth, and he goes to make war with people he can get to, trying to get at God through the people on earth, because he lost part of his positional power, which he currently has. That's a different conversation. However, presently, in going back to the creation story and the creation, the separation of the heavens, by nature of what the firmament is. Firmament is empty space. It is empty. That's all it is empty space. And there was empty space put above and below the waters that encircle the earth. So the firmament below the waters that encircle the earth is our atmosphere, the atmosphere of earth. The firmament above the waters that encircle the earth are the celestial heavens, where, like I said, the sun, moon, and stars were put. The heavenly hosts were also put there. So hopefully for those of you who lack a little bit of clarity on this issue, hopefully that's helpful. We'll get into this in a different video much more closely, but right now, that is to say that Satan has access to the earth's atmosphere firmament and the celestial heavens atmosphere, lack of atmosphere, whatever, firmament, first and second heavens, not the third. Revelation 12 is all about the celestial heavens. That's what this is talking about. There's something that's going to occur in the celestial heavens, and Satan is going to be cast out of them into the earth, where there is another thing going on that's causing the woman to flee. And basically that's what the rest of the chapter is. So he's moving from the celestial heavens to the earth, and he's angry because, like I said, he's the prince of the power of the air, the prince of this world. So he's losing half of his positional power by being restricted from the second heaven to the first heaven only, and so he's on earth wreaking havoc. That is to say that he's got nothing to do with the bottomless pit at this point. After the conclusion of the 70th week, when Jesus comes back and judges, and we'll talk about the beast and the false prophet after we get through this Satan conversation. Then, after the second coming and after the judgment of Armageddon, Satan will be bound, he will be chained to the side of the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. After the 1,000 years, the millennial reign on earth, he will be loosed for a little season. stir up trouble again, and then final judgment will come upon those who didn't choose for Christ in the millennial kingdom. Then there will be judgment of all unbelievers at the great white throne. Eternities will be set. Satan will be thrown into the lake of fire at that point, as will all unbelievers from all ages through the whole of the human history. So this brings us back to the conversation at hand, which really focuses on the beast and the false prophet. However, I feel that it's necessary to separate Satan from this because people have intertwined them in a way that they should not have, and so they need to be unlinked from one another. Satan's got his own sequence of events that is shown from Revelation 12 into Revelation 20. Irrespective of the beast and false prophet, Satan's got his own thing going on, his own agenda, and his own sequence of events. And his own sequence of events is markedly different from the beast and the false prophet, which is part of the reason that you know that they are not the same. Now, Revelation 9 introduces us to a character. Revelation 9:11. He is the king of the locusts, the angel of the bottomless pit. Angel. He's not a hybrid. He's not a giant or some kind of process that he's going to undergo to move from human to something else. He is an angel, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek hath his name Apollyon. Why is that important? Because Revelation 17 tells us that the beast from Revelation 13, the first beast, is in the bottomless pit. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. Go into perdition means go about his destruction. Destruction is the Greek word apolia. His name is Apollyon. He is the destroyer. He's not going into like some spirit inhabiting some other body. It means to go about his destruction because he is the capital D destroyer. That's his name. They that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. So this is in contrast to Jesus, who in Revelation 1, we are told that he is and was and is to come, the Almighty God. He's eternal. Was, is to come. He has always existed. He is the eternal I am, present tense. He is a perpetual present tense state of being. In contrast to the beast that is not, means he's not a perpetual present tense state of being because he is not. He was in the past and he will be in the future, but he is not. Sorry, I just got a text here to answer. So that's the contrast. The book of Revelation is written in 3 parts, right? The things which thou hast seen, the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. So when you're talking about that in comparison to Jesus, because the Revelation or the testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy, and this is a book of prophecy, the book of Revelation. So it's written in 3 parts to mirror the 3 aspects of the eternal nature of God. Was, is to come. Right, the things which thou hast seen past, the things which are present, and the things which shall be hereafter, future. So the book of Revelation writes all 3 parts related to the eternal God. In contrast to that, which this is the guy who's going to meet Jesus at Armageddon and try to destroy him, this man, this beast, is not. He's not a man. He's a beast. He is not. So he was in the past and he will be in the future. So he was part of the things which were and the things which shall be hereafter. But he's not part of the here and now. Which means he's not part of the church age. Which means that people mistaking this guy for being the Revelation 6 rider on the white horse are very far in error we don't need to guess about who this beast is. Revelation 9:11 tells us very specifically who he is and where he is as to why he is not presently. So the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. They that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. So we take this over to Revelation 13:8, and that same statement is mirrored here. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Right, because it's talking about the beast that presently is in the bottomless pit. So this is where we gain great understanding of how and why the beast cannot be the same as the Revelation 6 rider on the white horse, because it's in the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is opened in trumpet 5 in Revelation 9:1. We will find out soon that this guy's chained to the side of the bottomless pit. He's not going to be unchained to be able to ascend out of it until trumpet 6, specifically in Revelation 11. So there's no way that he could be the rider on the white horse in Revelation 6. Because the bottomless pit will not be opened until trumpet 5. He will ascend in trumpet 6, and that guy is associated to seal 1, which comes well before the beast enters stage right. So they cannot be the same. They can't. It's just a fact. They just can't. So this beast, we're told that he's going to ascend out of the bottomless pit. Okay, here we go. I stood upon the sand of the sea, saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Okay, there you go. So Revelation 13:1, rising up out of the sea, is synonymous with Revelation 11's when they shall have finished their testimony, talking about the two witnesses, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit, present tense scenario at that time, shall make war against them, shall overcome them and kill them. Their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Okay, what were we told about those who attempt to hurt the two witnesses? If any man hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. If any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. So this beast did not only hurt them, he killed them. What happened to the beast as a result of that? I saw one of its heads as it were wounded to death. As it were wounded to death. Can you kill an angel? No. So the appearance of it being wounded to death, not that it was actually wounded to death. His deadly wound was healed. Yeah, because he's a spirit being. He's an angel. It can't kill him naturally. All the world wondered after the beast. Yes, because what happened with the two witnesses? For 3.5 years, anyone who tried to hurt them was killed. Except this guy. Not only was he not killed, he killed them. So all the world wondered after the beast. They worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the beast, because that's what it says here. Notice in Revelation 12 that the dragon has 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. He gives that to the beast. This is what it means to give his power and seat and great authority. Not that he indwells him, but that the power that he has on account of his station, he gives to the beast. Because the beast rising up out of the sea, aka ascending out of the bottomless pit, has the 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon our, whatever. He's got the 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and the names upon his head's name of blasphemy. He is the 4th beast from the Daniel 7 night visions. The beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. His feet were as the feet of a bear, his mouth as the mouth of a lion. So it wasn't those things, it was as similar to, because he is the same, he is of the same ilk as the 3 that came before him, but he is the 4th. The dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority, because Satan is the prince of this world, the prince of the power of the air. So yes, just like he tried to, when he was tempting Jesus, right at the beginning of Jesus' ministry, he says, if you bow to me, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. Well, Jesus said no, because they're going to be his by birthright at some point in the future. But it's the same thing that he did to the beast, is he gave him authority over the kingdoms of the world. Not by indwelling him, just because apparently Satan has the power to do that. So, on account of his messing with the two witnesses, he has the appearance of one of his heads wounded to death, because that's what we're told the two witnesses had the power to do, was to strike back and kill those who came against them, except for the beast, because the beast is an angel and angels can't die. Not in the conventional way. It's why they were locked away. Why Satan will be locked away in the bottomless pit. Can't be killed. It's why the beast is presently locked away in the bottomless pit. He was and is not, and yet is in the future, will be. Where is he at? He's not dead. He's in the bottomless pit. He's going to rise out of the bottomless pit and make war against those who are able to kill everyone else, but they're not able to kill him, but it gives the appearance of it having been wounded to death. Why? Because then it makes him look better, that he came back from the brink. All the world wondered after him. And they said, who is like unto him? Who is able to make war with him? Because these two witnesses could kill everybody else, but not him, so he must be great and marvelous. There was given him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. That's the abomination of desolation. Power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months, second half of the 70th week. He opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, them that dwell in heaven. It was given unto him to make war with the saints, to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, Jews and Gentiles alike. They that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life, from the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Okay, so let's go to Daniel 7. This is talking about the four beasts. Four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. Okay, where'd this guy come up from? Saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Okay, the first was like a lion. That's Babylon. That's the head of gold in Nebuchadnezzar's statue. Had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. It was lifted up from the earth and made to stand up as a man, and a man's heart was given unto it. Okay, so that's the beast was like unto, had the mouth of a lion. That's Babylon. Okay, next. Oop. I behold another beast. The second, like to a bear. It raised itself up on one side. It had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth. And they said, arise, devour much flesh. That's the Medo-Persian Empire. That is Nebuchadnezzar's statue, the chest and arms of silver. Next, you have the belly and thighs of brass. It's the leopard, the Greek Empire. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads. Dominion was given unto it. The 4 heads, and Antiochus Epiphanes was a horn that came out of those 4, was a foreshadow of the little horn that comes up among the 10, which is Revelation 13's beasts and 10 kings. So after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, the 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. It had great iron teeth, devoured, brake in pieces, stamped the residue with the feet of it. It was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and that means the lion, leopard, and the bear. They came before him. They were done by the time he got there. And behold, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. There's your abomination of desolation. And he was given, according to Revelation 13, He was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. Yep. And what happens at the end of that 40 and 2 months? I beheld till the thrones were cast down, the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, his wheels of burning fire. Fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. Judgment was set. The books were opened. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast is the little horn, was given a mouth speaking great words, was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. This is Revelation 19. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth, their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which he deceived them, that he had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. The remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon his horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So you've got this guy who is presently not of this world because he is in the bottomless pit. And at the appropriate time, he will be unchained and released from the bottomless pit to come wreak havoc, first killing the 2 witnesses and receiving the appearance of a deadly head wound in the process, which is healed, and all the world wonders after him because, hey, you didn't die like everyone else. Except the 2 witnesses stand on their feet, give glory to the God of heaven, or they stand on their feet and they ascend to heaven in a cloud, which is 144 witnesses. The remnant are afraid to give glory to the God of heaven. In the same hour, there's a great earthquake. 1/10 of Jerusalem falls, and the second woe, 6th trumpet is passed. Behold, the 3rd woe cometh quickly. And that is when the abomination of desolation occurs, and then he's given power to continue 40 and 2 months. The end of that 40 and 2 months will come with his body being given to the burning flame. Differently from Satan, who, after that point, will be bound in the bottomless pit, where friendly neighborhood beast is presently. Why is he in the bottomless pit? And what about the false prophet? I'm going to stop this video here, and we will leave that for part 3, where we discuss why he's there, who he is, and that there is nothing new under the sun, and how this specifically relates to the reference, the days of Noah. So if you guys have questions or comments about this, please let me know. This video was a little bit longer than I wanted, but this is part 2 of this series to help us differentiate between Satan, the beast, and the false prophet. Make sure we understand that they are 3 entirely separate folks with 3 entirely separate agendas and sets of things, places, people, ideas, things, past, present, future. There's really no overlap other than they meet for a common purpose for a little bit of time during part of the 70th week. That's really all the similarity there is. So I'm going to stop this here, and we'll set the rest of it for part 3. See you guys later.